In the crypto paradigm, watching it go, buying low, selling high, riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees.
Alrighty, let's kick this thing off. Good morning from Paradise Surfers. My name is Crypto Amaru, joined as always by Nick the Crypto Hitman, and it's Tuesday, March 31st, last day of the month. Q1, a little disappointing. A bit of an Iran war out of left field may have thrown off Q1, but we are already looking forward to Q2, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of Quantum FUD today, perhaps a bottom signal for Bitcoin. We shall discuss numerous viewpoints, CZ weighing in. Love to see crypto talking about Quantum FUD. Not really. And we got a host of other great stories to share with you guys, but before we get into all of that, how was your weekend, Nick?
All right, just had to find it here. Pretty good weekend. Just sharing this leak in one more spot here. We had decent weather over the weekend, a little chilly, but that's solid. And then yesterday was busy, stuck at the DMV for a very long time, trying to get the Corvette's plates and pay the taxes and everything else. They told me they wouldn't accept meme coins, so I had to go home and get a checkbook, I guess.
They didn't accept our bag of Molly that we bought on Friday. I wonder, is that thing at 0 or a million? I don't even know.
The likelihood is at 0, but I haven't even checked on that one.
There you go, yeah.
Roan,
the trenches are come back to life a little bit. I'm seeing some runners here and there, but it's nothing like it used to be. And no one's holding for more than 67 seconds. Apparently that is the amount of time that the ideal meme coin trader holds a meme for. 67 seconds.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
most people can't even hit that buy button in 67 seconds.
Yeah, that's where we're at now in the trenches. But let's zoom out a little bit. I know we got a lot of great stories to cover. The Quantum FUD is all over my feed this morning. Apparently Google dropped some research suggesting that by the year, I believe it was 2030, Bitcoin may be at risk unless they upgrade and harden themselves to the quantum threat. Bottom signal, genuine concern, pure FUD. What's your initial reaction? We can get into some point counterpoints on this, maybe after the chart, though.
That's pretty ironic timing. You know, over the weekend, right before the weekend, our last live show, we said, hey, we actually hope for a nothing burger over the weekend. There wasn't much that happened with the Iranian war. They're coming negotiations. They're not. This, that, and the other. If nothing really happens, we'll skirt up to 69K, and then we'll kind of go from there. Well, what happened? We skirted up to 69,000, just about, $68,700, and now we got the quantum computing FUD. This seemingly comes out, what is it now, like once a quarter, once a year, quantum computing, Google, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's going to die. And then it usually only lasts about a day or so. So, I mean, what is your thoughts on this? I'm a big proponent of the Quantum FUD not meaning anything, kind of like I've been saying that the stablecoin FUD means nothing since 2017. And so far, it has meant nothing. USD Tether is still there, USDC is still thriving, and quantum computing still is irrelevant.
I mean, it's a story in as much as that the devs behind Bitcoin, Ethereum, the major protocols that people actually use that are going to stand the test of time, they should be looking into this, and they should be looking to upgrade and harden themselves to, I don't care if the threat's 20 years out. The fact of the matter is, if this is a narrative, like setting aside the truth of it or the genuine risk, if it is a narrative, there's going to be low IQ investors that buy into this narrative and then don't want to buy Bitcoin. So that's not good. So look, Google, good work identifying the threat. Devs, get to work working on it. But the fact is, it is really a nothing burger, because you have to understand, if Bitcoin itself is compromised, your private keys are going to be compromised. What about your bank account, your email, all your passwords? Not to mention government information, military, who knows about AI, you know. So quantum threatens a lot more than just Bitcoin. The good news is Bitcoin and Ethereum can actually fix the problem, I don't know what the hell the banks are going to do about our 4-digit passcodes.
Right. Well, the other thing here with this is, like, they're doing good, but the funny thing is, it's just everything is so coincidental. You know, Bitcoin's back to 69,000, trying to shake off the non-events over the weekend, and then the FUD comes out. It's always the timing, but now more than the timing, it's the research. Google says, oh my gosh, it will crack the Bitcoin's private key in just 9 minutes. Well, why is that important? Because the average block time is 10. Oh, isn't that just perfect? It just happens to be 60 seconds faster than the mining network that is online protecting Bitcoin's code.
Yeah.
Is that real? I don't really buy it. I think everything is just too coincidental, timing and just how fast it happens. It just so happens to be just slightly faster than the miners, which means there's a risk. Okay, sure. I believe it when I see it. I guess let's have another bull run before this happens in 2029 is their estimation. And I'm sure that the white hat developers will continue to do what they've done historically. And as the threats grow, the security grows as well. And that's how we're here today in this digital world.
I'd be curious to know how many people sold their Bitcoin this morning because of the Quantum FUD. My guess is very, very, very few. People buy and sell for a lot of reasons, but my guess is right now they're selling mostly due to Iran war, I don't know, 4-year cycle theory, or they're just traders. I mean, a lot of the market's just traders buying in and out, whatever, seeing an opportunity to buy or sell to make some money. So I don't think the Quantum FUD really affected that price dip to, we were at 69, now it's at 66. I think that's just a function of the stock market continues to take a beating. It's down like 10% off the highs since the war started. Risk assets are just struggling right now in the face of potentially higher inflation due to the higher oil prices, blah, blah, blah. The Quantum FUD is a red herring, guys. I wouldn't worry about it. And if you are worried about it, why aren't we making posts about how your Bank of America account is going to be compromised in a few years from now, too, because it's got a 4-digit code?
Yep, and here you go. Bitcoin long-term holders are now selling at a loss per crypto quant. This surrender phase often signals market-wide losses and potential bottom zones for Bitcoin. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Obviously, we don't want to go to new all-time lows. The grind over the weekend after the weekend to 69,000 is exactly as we predicted. The quant FUD usually fades after a day, so we'll see if we can make a major low and not go to a new lower low. We don't want to see that, but we are seeing that phases are lining up. We have interest rates cut coming hopefully in June, which is pushed back from what we were hoping for, and the Iranian war needs to come to an end for everything to kind of fall into place. But what do you think of this surrender phase going on? And then, of course, we'll talk about the potential, depending on what happens today, another red month marking the second longest red month streak in history for Bitcoin. Last time it happened, Bitcoin happened to go on a 400% run thereafter.
This will be tied, assuming we end the month in red, which we will end slightly red, it looks like. Today's the last day of the month, obviously. So we'll end slightly red in March. That'll be 6 months. That'll be tied for the longest streak, I believe. So that's pretty historic in and of itself. But a couple points on these long-term holders that are capitulating right now. First of all, get your shit together. Stop selling Bitcoin. Just stop. Hold on to that shit. Haven't we learned over the 15 or so years of Bitcoin's existence that the best strategy is to buy and hold, and that everyone who sold along the way has essentially regretted it at one point or another? Haven't we learned that by now? So first of all, stop selling your Bitcoin. Secondly, we don't need to hit a new low here, sub 60,000 for this bottoming zone, this surrender phase to fully play out, and then look at what happens historically following it. So we don't necessarily need it to go sub 60. I don't think we will. But let these Jeets out. I guess you're selling now. You're going to regret it in a few years. But my guess is, look, this has happened 4 times now. 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th time. And every single other time, we go on a parabolic run. Not even just a middling, little pump. We go on a multi-year run. Why the hell would you sell now, guys?
That is very true, and I want to show something here. Pretty good timing by RhinoFi.
Oh, RhinoFi, our homies.
on Pulse Chain. They must be watching here. Shout out to AJ West saying good morning. Moonmutt saying let's go. AJ West says Corvette. Nice, I need one. Well, we need some fucking alt season, and then everybody can have one. Roan in the house saying I'm not here. I'm never existed. I never suggested a meme coin called Molly. That tells me that that's lower than when we talked about a 20K market cap. Hard to believe. We'll have to check on that. And then AJ West, imagine how many other banks and businesses will need to prepare for quantum as well. There you go.
Yeah. We had fun, with memes, guys. You got to remember this. It is, at least should be, about the fun, the laughs, the joy it brings you. And Roan, even though we lost a couple $100 on that call, we had a great time on Friday talking about Molly, reminiscing about the times we were in our early 20s, going to the clubs, talking about bags of Molly, all that wonderful stuff. I have great memories of last Friday talking about those things. So even though we lost a couple $100, I'm not mad. That's what memes should be like, would be about, right, guys? Fun, stories, joking. It's just like, let's extract money from each other. We've really lost our way in the meme coin sector, haven't we? Maybe that's why we got to get back into DeFi. And I know Rhino's doing what they can to make DeFi great again. What do you got for us?
Well, this is Rhino 17 minutes ago, so they much tuned in the live show and hope we saw this live on air, and then we're talking about it live. So shout out to Rhino5.win for talking about Surf and Crypto Paradise. Anybody else who wants to talk about us, probably should do it. We'll try to throw you on the live show here. Another great addition to the ecosystem, Rhino/Surf LP. Current pool snapshot, there's how much is locked up. 1.26 million Surf, that's 1.2% of the total supply of Surf, is locked up in an LP with Rhino. So shout out to that. About Surf and Crypto Paradise, Surf has a sustainable approach to its token economics. Buybacks, token burns, liquidity additions, rewarding token holders, all of these happen through normal trading processes. Why is this LP important? This isn't just an LP. This LP pairs Rhino with a reward-based ecosystem, a community-based token, more liquidity flow. The more pairs, the more exposure, the more growth. The big picture, Rhino isn't staying in one lane. It's expanding across the ecosystem one pair at a time. And this is a lot of what we say about Rhino as well. We like the pair. Although Rhino's market cap is tiny, Surf's market cap is tiny, and it doesn't bring a lot of volume under current liquidity, both tokens are deflationary in nature, pay to hold, so incentivize holders, and when Rhino goes higher, it will drag Surf higher. When Surf goes higher, it will drag Rhino higher, which drives volume, drives burns, drives LP ads, and drives rewards. So shout out to Rhino5 for talking about this. If you guys haven't checked out the Rhino token on Pulse Chain, I would check it out. And it's pretty crazy to see that at these current valuations, 1.2% of the Surf supply is locked up with the Rhino, and that is one of our smaller pools. I think it's their 5th largest pools. So good to see. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, happy that they're giving us a shout out. Those guys are awesome. I know they're in our DAO as well, the Crypto Paradise DAO. Great guys, great team. It's been a tough 6-8 months in crypto. Let's just call it what it is. Most teams, I think, have frankly given up. Most projects have died over the past 6 months. These guys didn't. These guys still working hard. So shout out to these guys. Glad we are paired with them over with the Surf token, Rhino5. We just need now the market to start going back up again, don't we? I mean, all these wonderful things like the auto burns, auto LPs, it needs volume. And to get volume, you kind of need price appreciation. Price go down for 6 months straight on altcoins doesn't really get anyone excited, doesn't get anyone wanting to buy in other than the most diehard believers, of which there are very few left. So let's get a little price reversal on Pulse Chain. Let's get price reversal on altcoins across the board. I guess my question is when do you see that happening? Is it going to be the end of the Iran war? We see the market reverse, or is there going to be continued weakness because the oil markets are still going to be in turmoil even after this thing ends?
I think the end of the Iran war brings a lot of clarity to the global markets. It also drops oil price, even though there may be more turmoil. But if the Iran war is coming to an end, that leads me to believe that the Strait of Hormuz decisions are going to be forefront. I don't see Iranian war coming to peace negotiations or ending or getting obliterated, whatever it is, and then still having to worry about rocket launchers hitting boats in the Strait of Hormuz after that's already de-escalated. So I think all those things go hand in hand. Obviously, they said 4 weeks. I think we're approaching 4 weeks, so if they're going to stay on schedule, they got to create a deal ASAP here. We also do know that everything else is coming into play as well middle of this year as far as tax refunds, tariff checks, Potential interest rate cuts probably pushed to June based on Polymarket, which sucks. And that's kind of where we stand. So I think the Iran war is the big crutch here. This was the black swan that kind of slowed down growth as well. Remember, we had that bullish formation. Bitcoin was breaking out towards $80-something thousand, $90-something thousand. And then that's kind of where the FUD began around World War III and then Iranian war right after that. So the global macro uncertainty is what is driving these prices lower, shrinking liquidity, and providing uncertainty to especially risk-on assets.
Well, that's why we were joking yesterday on X, Crypto Paradise made a little joke. We need Trump to head down to the Paradise Pad for a couple weeks and just chill for like 2 weeks. After the Iran war is done, like, we do not need to invade Cuba. We don't need to annex Greenland. We don't need to abduct another leader somewhere. Like, just chill 2 weeks. Actually, give it like 2 months. Let's give it 2 months so we can really get an uptrend going, and we'll have some alt season come back. But yeah, it'll be interesting, man. I do think once the war ends, we will see markets rebound in a major way. But I don't know if this thing's going to end that soon, because there doesn't seem to be a negotiated settlement possible. It doesn't look like this regime is going to say, oh yeah, we're going to give up our nuclear ambitions. So we just have to continue to bomb them. And that could last another weeks, I guess, months even. I don't even know. But I don't see a negotiated settlement, because our position is no nukes. And they're like, we want nukes. And it's like, just keep bombing them, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. This, like we said, their original guidelines were 4 weeks, and I think we're approaching that here rapidly. So we'll see what happens.
We're out for 4 weeks now, dude. We're in like week 4.5, I think. Okay. But by the way, he did say 4 to 6 weeks. Give himself a little bit of room. Okay. So we'll see. But he could easily be like, you know what, we got to keep going, because whatever. And, what are you going to do? It's Donald Trump's world. We're just living in it. So
BB28 in the house, X28 says 28M with the ladybug on Pulse Chain cooking. What do you fellas think of the chart? Sounds like you like 28 because it's in your name. The one thing I will say, I just looked this up. There is 28M on multiple chains. So what is the pop culture thing going on with this 28M that we missed? Because this meme coin has popped up on multiple chains. But since you're talking about the one on Pulse Chain, I will show the chart. Thanks for inquiry here. Here you go, 28M, 5-minute chart, because it just launched here not too long ago. We saw a nice rally into this weekend, and now we are dying down a bit. 13K market cap, still tiny. Chart structure can't really go too much off of it, but you have had 3 or 4 days here, so if it was going to be a rug pull, probably would have already happened. Maybe rug pulls last longer on Pulse Chain than Solana, for example. But not much to go off of here. But here is 28 margaritas. What did we miss in the real life on March 27th? As I did see 28 margaritas is on multiple chains, including Base Chain, Solana Chain, and Pulse Chain. What did we miss? Are we too old? Did we not get the joke? What's going on here?
No, we're definitely too old, but I love it already, because you know me, big into Mexican culture, at least the white boy version of it all. And I love me a margarita. I love me Mexico so much, I bought a condo down there. So 28 margaritas, LFG, I'm all about it. I don't know if I would buy the one on Pulse Chain. Look, if you're into memes, can you be anywhere other than Solana right now? Like, realistically, not to say that Solana is good, because you're getting rug pulled too, but like, if you're looking for that, like, 0.001% chance of a runner to 100 million, does that happen anywhere other than Solana right now? Like, we just had that anime one I saw. And like every month there's like a new big runner on Solana. It's probably all bundled and just KOL, shield, etc. I mean, nothing's legit anymore. But I would do, if you're looking to speculate on new memes, I think you got to go Solana. But the problem too is, like, as soon as something pops off, you get like 10 copycats. And since no one has a website and no one has like a Telegram anymore, because everyone's just so lazy, can't even do the basics, how can you tell which is the first and the legit one? It's so hard. My God. Trenching sucks these days, huh, guys?
X1 blockchain in the house says 28 is a powerful number. White boy version LMAO.
Yeah, the white boy version of Mexico is like resorts, margaritas, tacos.
Sexy Latinas.
Yeah, that's the little mezcalita. I like a little mezcal. That's, by the way, if you go down there, don't get the margarita, get the mezcalita. You'll save some money. For some reason, mezcal's cheaper, but it's like the same thing as a margarita. So in any event, we're off topic here. What else we got going story-wise, Nick?
Well, we were talking about the Quantum FUD, so maybe if Bitcoin's going to get Quantum FUD, maybe BNB and BNB chain projects will get the white hat version of that Quantum FUD and actually get sent to the moon. We got CZ here talking. Saw some people panicking or asking about quantum computing's impact on crypto. At a high level, all crypto has to do is upgrade to quantum-resistant post-quantum algorithms, so no need to panic. In practice, there are some execution considerations. It's hard to organize upgrades in a decentralized world. There will likely be many debates on which algorithms to use, resulting in some forks. You know, this is kind of just tongue-in-cheek, but this is one of the biggest people in crypto talking about, hey, don't panic. We've seen this FUD a million times in the world, and crypto will continue to evolve. But it's nice to say, hey, looks like BNB chain will not be in fear of quantum, and it will be quantum resistant. And probably this will lead to BNB getting a quantum boost at some point in this next cycle.
BNB is mostly centralized, so they ain't got anything to worry about. CZ can be like, all right, devs, get to work on the quantum stuff. No issues. And they'll just do it.
Boom.
Right?
Quantum resistant, BNB outperforms, goes to the moon.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, we're big fans of BNB. I don't care if it's centralized or not. And we know CZ owns 6% of the supply, but who cares? So that BNB will be fine. Ethereum will be fine because they're also on top of this stuff, and they're also already basically essentially hardening and building out the tech that's going to be needed to ultimately, create quantum resistance around Ethereum. So I'm not worried about Ethereum either. I'm sure Solana will be fine too. Bitcoin is the question mark, but really the big thing around the Bitcoin is it's apparently the early Bitcoins that are more susceptible to quantum risk. In particular, that 1 million Bitcoins held by Satoshi. And so that's kind of the question that the Bitcoin community, the devs, are going to have to grapple with. What do we do about these 1 million Bitcoin? Because if we upgrade here, those Satoshi coins will be worthless. And to that I say, guys, Satoshi's already dead. Satoshi's gone. Just update the chain. Those coins weren't going anywhere. I'm sure if he was alive, he would say, do it. He's already relinquished those. They're basically, he's dead or he's gone or they're effectively burned already. So what are we even talking about? Just do the upgrade. And who cares about the 1 million Satoshi coins? They're done anyway.
Yeah, do you think that would be a FUD event? Saying, oh, well, look, this was supposed to be decentralized. Now you're just burning these coins. Or do you think that would be a positive? Because then people will be like, oh, look, the 1 million Bitcoin that we've been worried about is burnt out of existence. Now the total supply is 20 million. That'd be a tough one.
Low IQ take will be, oh, it's the deal. You've ruined decentralization. But there's going to be like 5 guys that are like hardcore believers in that. And the rest of us who are like, guys, we're in it for the money. Like, decentralization's cool. I get that that's why it is valuable, but at the same time, like, we had to do this, and Satoshi was dead anyway, guys. Like, what are we even talking about? Those coins are as good as burned, as it is sitting here today. And so just do the upgrade. If you had coins that were early Bitcoins, move them to a new wallet, which will be quantum resistant after the upgrade, and you're good to go. So, I don't know. I'm sure there'll be a lot of hand-wringing about it in the dev community, and there'll be some naysayers, oh, decentralization, you've ruined it. Us logical folks out there will be like, yeah, good work, get it done, make Bitcoin quantum resistant, and burn the million Satoshi coins. Win-win.
We got Miko Chapo in the chat. Good morning, guys. Good out to see you. So we talked about Bitcoin. We talked about BNB, how they're fighting the quantum computing FUD. Well, here we go. Thomas Lee is fighting for Ethereum to go higher. Thomas Lee's Bitmine staked another 167,578 ETH, worth $340 million, bringing its total ETH stake to 3.3 million, worth $6.72 billion. I know they're on their way. They're about 76% completed in their goal of 5% of the total Ethereum supply. But that means they have quite a bit of Ethereum still to buy and quite a bit of Ethereum to still stake. They currently are compounding all their staked dividend rewards.
Yeah, shout out to Tom Lee. Single-handedly just carrying Ethereum on his back right now. I can't imagine what the price would be if it wasn't for him buying all these coins. But I actually think the bigger story here, maybe you can pull it up, is not that Tom Lee staked, because he's been doing that a while and he continued to do that, and that's wonderful. He'll get to his 5%. The bigger story is that the Ethereum Foundation finally listened to us. And instead of just selling wantonly on our heads, they've decided to stake $50 million worth of Ethereum, and then presumably they can take those rewards, sell those to pay for stuff. Why didn't you do that 5 years ago, guys?
We've only been
Ridiculous.
smashing our head against the wall for the past 2-3 years, telling them to do this. Every time they sold, if somebody from Ethereum Foundation is watching, just stake and use the rewards to pay your devs. And then some devs will sell, some won't. Some will take the earned ETH and put it in DeFi and earn yield that they will then use for income rather than selling the Ethereum. This isn't hard. And you think as the leader of the decentralized finance boom that you would be applying these methods to your own bags. You didn't do it. Now they are. Richard Hart, we're going to say the same thing to you. We've been saying it for a long time, 2 or 3 years to be exact. Take the billions in Ethereum, stake it, earn more Ethereum. Use that to pump your chain. Ethereum Foundation eventually listened. Will Richard Hart eventually listen? I don't know. They ran all that Ethereum through Tornado Cash, so we have no proof that that Ethereum still exists. But Richard Hart famously said, people don't like selling things for cheaper than they bought it. So my assumption, using logic, would say that that Ethereum does still exist, and Richard Hart should stake it and take the earnings to pump the Pulse chain. Now back to the Ethereum Foundation. Here it is. The Ethereum Foundation just staked 46.2 million of ETH. This is more ETH than they have ever staked before, which is pretty wild to think, because seemingly on every whim, every lunch, every dinner date, Vitalik took his girlfriend out, decided to sell 2 million of ETH to pay for that date. So here we go. Do you think this is more of a trend, or do you think that this is a one-off thing?
I hope it becomes a trend. Why wouldn't it? I mean, it's such an obvious thing to do. You have all the Ethereum in the world. You're the third biggest holder of Ethereum. The foundation is, I think, right? Something third or fourth. Thanks, they got like 700,000 Ethereum that they're just sitting around. Stake most, if not all of it. Why wouldn't you, right? Like, you didn't, like you said, live off the income, use that money to pay the devs. It seems like a no-brainer. So my hope is, because us degens, the industry, we're cheering them on, rooting for this. Vitalik gets the signal, says, hey guys, let's just do this again. What a no-brainer. So I think they'll do it again, but I'm sure they'll also sell ETH too, and we'll be talking about that in a couple months.
It's just wild that the creator, really the innovator of the DeFi boom, DeFi summer, occurred on Ethereum and BNB chain primarily when they both exploded. Obviously, other chains had their little DeFi summers, whatever, but there was nothing consistent, no major liquidity, no major sustainable volume. Ethereum and BNB were the ones that really created that architecture, and they're just now staking their ETH. CZ's owned 6% of the BNB supply and staked it and earned rewards off it through Binance for 5 years. And they're just now staking ETH in any kind of meaningful way to produce yield in ETH that they can then use to pay devs who may or may not sell it themselves. It seems like a no-brainer. Maybe when your IQ is too high, you kind of peruse over the simple facts and the simple logic that could help pump your chain into the future. I don't get it.
He's too smart to stake. Yeah, who knows? But to be fair, they've staked before. I mean, it's not like this has never happened. This is the biggest amount, so that's positive. I think they'll continue to do it. Why wouldn't they? But you have to understand, too, I mean, everyone who begrudges Vitalik for selling, I mean, if you're a billionaire based off your invention, and you're a billionaire by function of essentially owning shares in that company, or in this case, tokens that power the network, you're going to sell some of these things. So like, how many shares of Amazon has Jeff Bezos sold? You know, to buy his 20th yacht. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg is wantonly selling Facebook shares, Meta shares all the damn time, and no one seems to be bitching and moaning at them.
Yeah, it's very fair. You're always able to sell your investment if that's what you want to do. That's you as the founder reaping the benefits and the rewards of your work. I think it is a little different with Ethereum. Why it gets more scrutiny is there similar transparency around it, but if you're preaching that Ethereum is like the future development hub of the world and the future finance hub of the world and the future money of the world, then why are you selling it for dirty fiat? You know, I think it goes back to the cyberpunk thing versus stock shares is just like, look, it's just a piece of property. At some point, the goal is to sell it for fiat to buy other properties. So it's kind of more clear cut to me when it comes to traditional stocks versus the evangelist over here in crypto who's saying this is the future of finance and the future of money.
Well, the other problem, too, with how I think the Ethereum Foundation goes about selling is their timing is awful. It's god-awful. It's always, like, at the lows.
They have panic sellers. Yeah, they're scared. Like, oh, my God, we need to sell the house.
Yeah, it's, like, at the lows. They're never selling into the pumps. It's like, why not just hand $100 million over to a market maker? They can strategically sell into pumps, maybe buying back on lows, kind of like trade up your bag, you know, increase the size of your USDT, use that to pay people. Like, there's much smarter ways you can offload and liquidate an asset in crypto than panic selling at the bottoms. which seemingly is what they always do. So, look, I'm still extremely bullish on Ethereum. It's super undervalued. I think the market cap is like $200 billion. It's taken a beating recently. I think it's at least half. We're looking half off. I think the fair market value really should be at 4,000, at least, if not higher. And it's sitting here at 2. So as much as we like to bemoan and begrudge and bang on it for bad decisions, it's not a bad asset. It's just highly undervalued right now. You wish a couple decisions were made better, but hey, nothing's perfect in this world, folks.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned the 4,000 number. Really, we talked about how no real fun alt season begins to 4,000, and then the euphoria begins after Ethereum gets above 5,000. Those are the numbers we've been citing for, seems like forever now. I don't even know, a year, 2 years now, and we really haven't been able to achieve those numbers. No new all-time highs for Ethereum realistically in the past 5 years. Been in a high-level consolidation here and looking for a massive breakout like we've seen similar to silver and gold. We're on a massive consolidation before this breakout. We would just historically have seen much shorter consolidation periods for crypto, and it's crazy that the quote-unquote cycle top could have been in, like the 4chain prediction for Bitcoin, and Ethereum didn't even go to new all-time highs as the second largest crypto in the entire crypto sphere. So talking about 4chain, I don't know how real this stuff is, but this is going around and been going around for years and years and years. Which one's real? Which one's AI? I don't know. That's why we don't talk about it too much. But potentially, Anonymous on 4chain picked the exact high to the day on Bitcoin. But don't be all pessimistic. The optimist in the room says his pattern suggests that a new all-time high for Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of crypto, euphoria, we're all rich again, will be September 5th of 2027, which isn't all that far away anymore because we've just been surviving.
It's true. It's true, man. Hey, 2027 will be on top of us real quick. Granted, we got to get through 26. Let's see what that brings us. But, yeah, man, this uncanny ability to call tops and bottoms, I think you got to pay some credence to it. I think we hit an all-time high well before 2027, though. And that's the end of 27. That's the end of 2027. The all-time high was only 126,000, guys. It's not actually all that high. So what, we can't get to 130 by the end of this year if the stars align around some QE, ending of the war, some rate cuts, big beautiful bill refunds that are coming in right now, the Clarity Act. I'm seeing 401k news dropping. You're able to invest in crypto using your 401k coming soon. We can't hit an all-time high by the end of this year. I don't know. I just don't think it takes quite that long. And the thing with these patterns, man, I mean, they're a thing until they're not. This isn't going to hold forever. These exact days. I mean, come on. It's not going to hold forever. So at some point, pattern will be broken. My guess, still, we hit an all-time high by the end of 2026. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. See if Trump can manage to end this war in the next couple of weeks. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, what's the latest on the war? You're usually more in tune with what's going on there. I saw some stuff pop up over the weekend of extending peace negotiation timing and everything else. I just haven't, kept up fully with the most recent findings. I just didn't get notified over the weekend of new massive missile strikes or nukes going off or anything crazy. And I think that's why we skirted up to 69K on Bitcoin as we kind of avoided the massive destruction over the weekend.
Well, no, I mean, we've been bombing the shit out of all their military infrastructure. Yesterday, just completely destroyed, I think it was a city called Isfahan or something, which had a lot of military infrastructure and missile sites, and I just bombed the shit out of it. So, I mean, we continue to grade their military sites every single day. A little bit of oil, I think, is creeping through the Strait of Hormuz, which is a bit of a good sign. I guess they let 20 ships through. Maybe some more are getting through as of today. But, I mean, the problem with this war is you're really not dealing with a rational counterparty as far as I can tell. A rational counterparty would say, you know what, guys? We got beat. This experiment of us trying to be hardline theocrats, hell-bent on the destruction of America and Israel, building a bomb, that didn't work out for us or really anyone in our country. It's time to pivot. It's time to become like Dubai. It's time to embrace capitalism and just build back our country and get rich. And instead of having sex with 72 virgins in real life, have sex with hot women, or when you're dead, have sex with hot women in real life after you're rich. That's the logical thing that people should be doing with their time. But we're not dealing with a logical counterparty. And so, Trump's not going to back down off. There's really 4 negotiating points. It's like, no nukes, okay? Stop building your long-term ballistic missiles as well, because those are nearly as dangerous. Open the Strait of Hormuz and stop funding the terror proxies of like Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. 4 points. We've been firm on this for years, really. I mean, you're going back to prior administrations, and then certainly once Trump's been here. That's been the terms. And instead of being like, you know what, guys, we got beat. Let's just agree to this. We'll take whatever money we can get because we will lift the sanctions if they agree to all those things. So Iran would make money again, and they could become a real country, become like Dubai, but they don't seem to be interested in that. And so I guess we just have to keep bombing them out of existence. And then so how long does that last? I don't know. I guess we have to bomb them until someone comes to the power that says, all right, I agree to your terms. Because I don't see Trump just backing down off this nukes thing.
Yeah, and I don't think they're coming to terms yet because this just came out a couple hours ago. All of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number 1, buy from the U.S. We have plenty. And number 2, build up some delayed courage. Go to the Strait and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been, essentially, decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your oil. President DJT.
Let's go. What a tweet, man. This guy's epic. This guy, what a beast. Unreal. Statecraft at its finest. But, no, I mean, he's right. Like, the Strait of Hormuz, it obviously does impact the entire world economy. So to suggest that we're not affected by it, that's a bit disingenuous. It does affect us, not nearly as much as Asia, UK, Europe, etc. But it affects us. But anyway, it affects them more. If we're affected by 10%, they're 90%. Get your shit together. Harden up the strait. Make yourself, to destroy the military infrastructure around there. We'll help you, I'm sure. I'm sure we'd be happy to help with those missions. But yeah, other countries got to step up. I just don't know how this ends, man, because when you're dealing with people who embrace death, like death is better than surrendering. How do you negotiate? It's like negotiating with terrorists. How do you negotiate with these people? And we're clearly not going to back off on our no nukes thing. So I don't know how this thing ends or when it ends. It's a shame that we're in it, but this is the world that we're in, guys. And I get some people are mad at Trump, but I don't know if this is really, you can blame him at this point. The other side is whipped. They've lost the war. 90% of all the military has been destroyed. We've killed every leader, like hundreds of them. And the media's out there saying, oh, Iran's just about to win. I mean, that's an absolute joke. But it's like, how do you solve a problem where the counterparty would rather die than come to a negotiated settlement?
Yeah, we'll see. Like you said, 4 to 6 weeks. We're right in that time frame. But it does look like that negotiations aren't going all that well, or nobody's really talking for Donald Trump to put out a tweet like this. But it is kind of crazy. It's like the rest of the world who is impacted far greater than the United States. Like you said, they're 90% impact. We only have 10% impact. None of them wanted to stand up. They were fine with status quo because they knew they didn't want to fight the terrorist organizations and get into the war and do all the dirty things that need to be done to make sure things are resolved. They were just okay with the drug dealer living on their street and going from marijuana to crack to heroin to fentanyl and just saying, you know what, as long as we leave him alone, he keeps his yard clean, and we get the benefit off of his economy a little bit, our property values will go up because at least his house looks good and he spends money at all the local restaurants. That's kind of like what I related to. There were two pansies, two pussies to take advantage of it, to stop it when they could have, and they let Iran grow out of control and getting too much power. I mean, that's how the mob was created, that's how the cartel was created, and that's what they were letting happen with Iran because of why? They wanted cheap oil, easy oil, and just to go on with status quo.
You know what's interesting about this is the Arab countries are actually having become our greatest allies, well, obviously along with Israel, in combating Iran here in the regime, which was I think a bit of unexpected thing. Obviously, the fact that the regime started to bomb, Dubai and Qatar and all these places, that obviously didn't help. But it's interesting to see like the Arab countries kind of banding together and going like, this regime is intolerable. It can't exist. And in fact, news broke that Trump, I think, wants to negotiate out of this. He doesn't want a war, guys. And you got to understand that about Trump. He didn't really want a war. He just didn't want Iran to get a nuke. And so Trump's looking for off-ramp. Meanwhile, the Arab countries are going, no, you got to bomb them more because we can't have any of this regime intact. Because they're just going to come back and, you know, threaten our existence, and we're like neighbors to them. So the Arab countries are in favor of more war. The Europeans are running scared. I mean, I don't even know what's going through their heads. Like, you guys just don't, you're just not even going to lift a finger to try to fight and try to, you know, get the Strait of Hormuz opened up. You're just going to do nothing and just bitch and moan. I don't know. I guess so. UK, same thing. What about the Asian countries? Dude, apparently in like Indonesia, there's a lot of countries that it's very hard for them to get oil. And all of it came from the Middle East and like through the Strait of Hormuz. And they're like they're rationing now. They're having to ration oil to their citizens in certain places in Asia, as far as I read. Why not? Why aren't they lifting a finger? I know they don't have big militaries, but do something. A little crazy to me. So I mean, it is what it is, guys. I'm an eternal optimist. I just don't know how we get a negotiated settlement. I think the only way this is going to end is when Donald Trump is like, all right, we've sufficiently bombed them, and I'm just declaring it over.
Well, hopefully that happens today. That would be nice. Huh? The other thing is, it seems like that's going to happen, and then I've been seeing this pop up on my feed a lot too. So maybe we get the global macro uncertainty closed in Iran. Do you think uncertainty in Canada would cause chaos on the markets as well? Breaking the 177,000 signature threshold has now been passed, officially clearing the requirement for an Alberta independence referendum on October 19th. This is a historical moment for Alberta, and signature collection is continuing. Do you think Alberta will go out on its own and leave Canada? Do you think Alberta will become the 51st state of the United States of America? How does it affect markets?
I don't think this affects markets, to be fair. But the more I learn about Canada, the more concerned I get for just their existence and their way of life, and then also how does that affect the U.S.? They've really embraced, I would call it socialism, maybe more so than any other country in our hemisphere, even like outside of like Venezuela that used to be super socialist. But full open borders, insane taxes. Like, I complained about taxes here. Apparently their taxes are even worse in Canada. And then I just read a story the other day. Now that the Mexico-U.S. border is much more secure, the cartels and also the Chinese companies that ship the fentanyl precursors, they all move their operations to Canada. And now Canada is likely going to be the largest importer of fentanyl and other horrible drugs into the U.S. And the Canadian authorities are doing nothing about it. The more I learn about Canada, the more concerned I get. I will say to anyone who is Canadian, but yet you don't like the U.S., I get it. U.S. is expensive. We got problems. You really should consider you're moving down to Mexico. It's a much better country than Canada.
Crypto Armor trying to make Mexico great again.
Dude, it's great. The weather's great. It's cheap. Tacos. I mean, margaritas. What more could you ask for? Not this bullshit socialism and fucking super high taxes of Canada and the U.S. Move down to Mexico. You can live on like 40, 50,000 a year like a king. What are you doing up there in cold-ass Canada anyway?
Good maple syrup, man. Good hockey.
Dude, it ain't
I don't know.
60% taxes, though, trust me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Alberta's saying enough is enough. So we'll see what happens here by the end of this year. Wouldn't that be wild? Would that be like, I don't know when the last time they've had a major country like this, first world country, that had a subsection or a region of it kind of leave it and do its own thing or become part of another country. I'm not saying Alberta would be the 51st state of the United States, but there is a possibility that they could go that route. That'd be crazy.
I don't know if do we want them? They should be, like, be independent, right? Like, be your own thing. I don't like you're your own culture, you're your own people, be your own thing. Don't try to be Americans. You'll never really be American. You'll still be just Canadians, Albertans. You're different. That's okay. You're from your place in the world. Embrace that. Be you. So be your own country. I just don't know if this is a thing that actually happens. Like, I don't know enough about Canadian politics, their constitution to tell you, oh yeah, this could definitely happen. Because in the U.S., it's nearly impossible to do something like this, just based on the way the laws are and how many votes you need in Congress to become like your own state or annex yourself. Here it would be impossible. There, I don't know. But this guy gets it. Blockchain NXT, 28 margaritas. Yeah, they don't got good margaritas up in Canada. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, man. That's kind of all the news pieces today. We didn't look over too many charts, not much to look at. Bitcoin 67,600, Coinbase 170, still sitting at the lows for the day. Ethereum still holding above 2,000 at approaching 2,100, bouncing off that white line we've been looking at for months and months and months and months now. It remains a major level for Ethereum. Ethereum is outperforming here on Bitcoin. Come on, Ethereum. Maybe that's based on the news of the foundation staking, Thomas Lee staking. Now we need Joe Lubin to start buying.
I'm super hopeful about Ethereum based on what you just said. What's happening with the stock market? Is the stock market in the green right now? That'd be my guess. The stock market's up and it's pulling the rest of the assets with it.
NASDAQ is up 1.86% in the face of Donald Trump's tweet. Pretty crazy to see. In the face of oil price, it has come down a few dollars since this weekend, but still $102 per barrel. A high of 106 was made this weekend, I guess, when some bombing happened. And let's look at S&P 500 here. 1.86 on the NASDAQ. That's crazy. S&P 500 up 1.5%. And then the Dow Jones is up 1.17%. So the lowest gains for Dow Jones, which is commodities, highest gains for NASDAQ, which is the risk on tech stocks. And that's why I think we're seeing a nice bounce here in Ethereum, approaching $2,100.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were in correction territory on S&P and NASDAQ. We were down 10% from the all-time highs that were put in a few months ago. So since this war, we have lost 10% of value on the stock market. Now it's bouncing here. It was going to bounce at some point. My guess it is bouncing on the back of that. Trump, he did an interview with the Wall Street Journal, and I think it came out that he would be open to ending the war without the Strait of Hormuz, without them worrying about that, essentially. And just that'll work itself out. We could end the war anyway. I don't know if he'll follow through on that. We'll have to see how that actually all plays out. But that is why I think the market's bouncing here, because it seems like, you can call him taco. Everyone's like, oh, Trump's going to chicken out. Does it really, is it chickening out? Say I'm in a fight with someone, and I just beat the shit out of him. He's bloodied on the ground. I've gotten 10 body shots. He's got a broken jaw, black eye. He's on the ground, splayed out. Maybe he's still cursing at me. He's I'm going to get you. But he hasn't landed a single punch. And then I'm going to walk away from that fight because I won. Is that chickening out? Or I just beat the shit out of that guy and the fight's over? Food for thought.
Exactly. Normally when he flips on things or whatever, it's because some kind of negotiation has occurred, some kind of resolution has occurred, or we've got enough dominance or power or clout on any situation to walk away and leave it be. You only can beat the dead horse so much, right? So.
Yeah, look, the objectives of the war, and they've been very clear on this. I don't know why everyone's like, oh, the objectives weren't clear. No, it was make sure they can't get nukes, destroy their missile capabilities so they can't basically threaten us in the region further, weaken their proxies, and kill the regime leaders, I think was another one. So they've achieved all the strategic, military goals, I think thus far. And it's kind of like, well, if they still don't want to negotiate, what can you do? I guess if we see them building up shit again, and in a year we got to do it again, do it again. They'll never be able to be. We've destroyed so much of the military. Even in a year, they won't have built enough of it back to defend themselves.
Right.
Just do it again in a year if you need to. The Israelis have a term for this: mowing the grass. It's the same thing they do with the Islamic terrorists of Hamas. Who, same story of, Hamas, by the way, Gaza could have gone the route of Dubai, taken all the money that is given to it by all the aid organizations, Iran, Qatar, a lot of places have been funding Gaza. Instead of building tunnels and rockets and so on to shoot off into Israel, they could have just built a beautiful, luxurious resort seaside city, on the Mediterranean. Why didn't you do that, guys? It's maddening. It's absolutely insane that people, instead of just trying to better their lives, better their families' lives, would be hell-bent on destruction, and our whole thing is death to whatever. Why? Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. It's really insane to me that people would choose that way of life instead of just making money and being a normal human being, trying to make your life better for your wife and your kids. I mean, it's just crazy to me. But anyway, it looks like the war might be ending soon. And
I hope so.
My guess is Trump is just going to declare victory.
I think what he wants is he wants some other countries to kind of position themselves in places of power around the Strait of Hormuz and maybe around borders or whatever. That way he can declare victory and then still have some back-end support from some of these other countries that are going to, even if UK says, hey, we're sending one naval fleet carrier down there to patrol the waters and make sure that our ships get through. That's all you need. You need a couple countries to show some force, show some presence, and then it's not on the back of the American taxpayers anymore. Oil prices can drop, and Iran supplements income has drastically decreased.
All right, we got some DGen stuff. I'm loving this, dude. Blockchain XMT. Shout out to you, man. I'm loving this DGen stuff. Hexy Bastard from 9-inch. Rug, Snape, and Test. Do you think we could CTO this?
I don't think we're in CTO season yet. There's not enough liquidity even on Ethereum, much rather Pulse Chain. I think there will be a time and place in which CTOs do very well. We've been a part of CTOs before where they went from literally 0 to $10 million market capitalizations, and we still probably hold some of those because we're not Jeets that sell on the big pump. We have belief, we have conviction, we take some profits for the time and effort, but I just don't know if CTO season is here upon us right now, nor when people in Pulse Chain right now, when they rug pull, do whatever, they still happen to have 1 or 2% of the supply sitting around, so you CTO, give them strength for further exit liquidity.
Yeah, it ain't CTO season, I don't think. Not to mention, I mean, we already have the Crypto Paradise Surf token to worry about and try to get value accruing over there. We have the Pool X token. You may not know that we are now leading the Pool's Launchpad platform, which is an OG Launchpad. So the Pool X token is up actually quite a lot since we've taken over that Launchpad. I don't even call that a CTO because it's not a meme. It's an actual business. And then you may remember Kai Ken, which we CTO'd like 2 years ago. And we're still supporting. We're still active in there. We're still holding a bunch of Kai tokens. Because like Nick said, we don't just cheat out. So, I mean, we kind of have a lot on our plate as it is. But what you should do, Blockchain NXT, check out, there's a new kind of launchpad meme coin platform that we are backing called Vibes Fun. Join our Telegram over Crypto Paradise, and we'll share with you some information about Vibes Fun. It's kind of like a pump fund, but way better, and you can vibe code your meme into existence from the, obviously token smart contract standpoint, but you can vibe code the socials, you can vibe code a whole website around your meme. And so instead of, and if you're an early adopter, you're going to get airdrop monies, okay, and points and so on. So check out Vibes Fun. Instead of CTOing stuff, why not create your own meme? Through Vibes Fun, create the website, create a community, a Telegram, Twitter, whatever, and push it that way. And then you're in full control. I mean, that's the thing. Like, people complain about these so-called devs that bundle and rug and are just pieces of shit. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a thing, but instead of bitching and moaning, why not do something about it? Why not create your own meme and try to run it, like, legit?
Fair assessment. Hopefully that helps you, X1 Blockchain XNT. And then lastly, before we hop off, Trump always declares victory, LOL. I do trust him long term, though. He coming out strong in this Fire Horse year.
Oh, the Fire Horse! Are you the Fire Horse guy? Who was I talking about with Fire Horse? Was that I don't know if it was on a Spaces or maybe it was in real life. Oh, it was in real life, actually. A buddy of mine. Apparently, the fire horse year is something quite significant for the markets, so we'll have to just wait and see. But it's supposed to be a bullish year. It's a Chinese thing. Maybe you can elaborate on the fire horse year thing a little bit more there. I'm not fully in tune with it, but apparently, fire horse year is bullish. Bullish year, guys. So if you follow the stars and the Chinese New Year and their Chinese, whatever astrology or whatever the hell this is, whatever it takes to hold. That's what I say. Whatever you need to believe in. Whatever you need to believe in to hold on to your Bitcoin over a 10-year period, you just keep believing in that, because that's how you're going to make it. But yeah, guys, great show today. We'll be back with another slate of stories tomorrow. Appreciate everyone jumping in, talking about the memes, talking about geopolitics with us. Until next time, guys, see you on the beach.